Hello guys, and welcome back. Right now, the micro compact market is pretty packed, but it was not always like that. At least not at the time when M&P Shield was launched. It was the first compact handgun to have commercial success, which paved the way for other companies. Soon, SIG introduced the P365, which was an even better compact handgun. It was mainly because SIG P365 held 10 rounds compared to 8 rounds of M&P Shield. Then came the M&P Shield Plus, a gun that had big shoes to fill and compete with contemporaries. So, how did it perform? Well, to be honest, there is not much one can complain about. Everybody knew the only change that was really needed to compete in the market was a larger magazine size, and M&P did exactly that by improving the capacity to 10 rounds in addition to a flush-fit extended magazine that can accommodate 13 rounds. However, while Smith & Wesson was at it, the company also made some revisions to fundamental design and improved the overall performance of the handgun. I'm sure most of you have already heard or read about M&P Shield Plus, but hardly few people have opined after using the handgun extensively. Thanks to you guys, I was able to test the gun for a good 13 to 14 months and form a very measured opinion on this new Smith & Wesson's offering. So, let's just get to it. A brief overview. If I have to put everything in a nutshell, I would not be wrong to say that Shield Plus is a fairly decent gun. In fact, it might be one of the best in the compact market right now. Why do I say that? Well, you would not get many compact guns that offer magazines with 13 plus 1 capacity. Furthermore, like its predecessor, it is as reliable as it gets. And the best part, you do not have to have those aggressive grip textures of the M&P Shield, which, frankly speaking, were quite a nuisance. But it is not without a few problems. The gun can be quite challenging for people with large hands, but I would not exactly call it a drawback, because you will experience it with pretty much all compact handguns. However, I'm afraid I cannot be too forgiving when it comes to things like being snappy and a difficult field strip. Do not get me wrong, these are not the deal breaker. It is just that to give a measured opinion, I have to indulge in nitpicking, and these are the best I could find, which is actually quite incredible for a handgun that costs under $500. Now that you are familiar with the basics, let's look at the pistols in a little more detail. The design. A fundamental problem with compact concealed carry is that such guns are challenging for large hands. Frankly, there is not much that firearm manufacturers can even do about it. They can either make it suitable for larger hands or make a compact concealed carry. There is nothing in between, or at least it was what I thought before spending some time with Shield Plus. I would not say that guns offer an incredible feel to the people with large hands, but I can certainly say that Shield Plus is far better in this area than any other compact concealed carry in the market. The weight, size, and overall design of the Shield Plus is incredible for small hands, but it also feels just right to people with bigger hands. Smith & Wesson has designed it as compact as possible without compromising usability of the platform. I have fairly large hands, or at least it is what I like to think, and I have never experienced more comfort with any other compact guns in the market. Smith & Wesson has pulled it off by designing a beaver tail deep enough that you would not experience any slide bite while using 9+ magazines. Furthermore, the grip is textured, but it is not too aggressive as it was on its predecessor. It is just right, rough enough to provide a secure grip and smooth enough to prevent abrasion on the palm. It is this design that sets it apart from the competition. Trigger. Anyone that has used an M&P Shield Plus will tell you that the trigger is one of the best features of the gun. And those who have used Smith & Wesson guns before will notice the trigger at first sight. It is the first handgun in the M&P lineup to feature bladed trigger safety, but not how you might expect. You see, instead of incorporating blade safety into the face of the trigger shoe, Shield Plus stands out with hinged trigger safety. So it does not rely on the pad of a shooter's index finger to depress a blade, something that is found in Glock handguns. The safety disengages as the shooter adds pressure, which hinges on the lower portion of the trigger bow rearwards. It allows the entire trigger to travel rearwards. I know some people might not appreciate the added travel and sponginess in the pull, but I for one quite like it. I think the addition of blade-end safety is an indicator of where S&W might go with its new releases. The trigger itself is also quite improved. It is not exactly a flat-faced trigger valve, but it is not also the one people typically call a curved bow. This new OEM trigger sits somewhere in between, which offers the best of both worlds, and I think it is where Shield Plus shines the brightest. You would notice that the safety blade covers most of the trigger face and offers some resistance before setting flush with the trigger body. However, as the safety is disengaged, the entire assembly moves backwards smoothly until it strikes a distinct wall. Applying a bit of pressure offers a short break, which follows a bit of added travel. And if you control release the trigger, you would also notice a short reset point that can be heard and felt. The downside of this complete new trigger is the lack of aftermarket support. But wasn't that the entire purpose of this design change? Most of you would love the out-of-factory trigger. And if you do not, wait a few months, and there will be plenty of aftermarket options for Shield Plus as well. Performance. Like everything else, there is not much I can complain about in terms of performance. Certainly, I did not expect it to be as accurate as the standard size handgun, but frankly, it is not too far behind. You get decent accuracy despite the smaller size and shorter sight radius. The one I bought came with 3-dot white sights, and they got the job done. Acquiring and locking targets was easy enough in the daylight, but the thing that impressed me the most was its recoil management. Using a 13-round magazine allowed a small but crucial extension to offer a more secure grip. My follow-up shots were more accurate with the extended magazine compared to the standard one. Understandably, I did not get the same results with standard magazines, but it certainly does not mean that recoil management with standard magazines is bad. It is a matter of personal preference. People with larger hands will prefer extended magazines, whereas those with smaller hands would like the smaller ones better. Ease of maintenance and customization. If I have to score different aspects of Shield Plus, ease of maintenance and customization are where it will score the least. I like to clean my weapon routinely, and for that, easy takedown is very important. Unfortunately, it is not the case with Shield Plus. The field strip on Shield Plus is quite challenging, and the stiffness of the lever does not go away even after a decent number of disassemblies. I had to use a magazine to disassemble the weapon. Furthermore, there are not many options, at least for now, to customize the Shield Plus. I'm not saying it would not change, but even after over a year of its release, there are few options besides sights and holsters. It is mainly because there is no accessory rail that puts a cap on upgrades you can do on the handguns. However, basic accessories like lasers and lights are available at several outlets. One last thing I have to mention is, again, related to its size, which is just perfect for the hidden hybrid holsters. The size is just enough to fit in, while providing a decent grip to make it easily accessible. All in all, it is a very capable and practical handgun, with features that are not that common in the compact market. Anyone who is looking for a concealed carry under $500 would find it hard to look past that. And if you happen to have small hands, well, there is no point in going any further. That is all for this video. I hope it has been fun and informative. Let me know what you think of Shield Plus in the comment section. And as always, I will see you at the next one.